Marty. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm going to teach you how to make potato wedges. Great. So I already chopped most of the potatoes, mostly for y'all's sanity, because y'all don't need to watch me chop close to 5 pounds of potatoes, and my housemate, who's helping me film, doesn't either. But I started with a 5-pound bag of russet potatoes. If you want to get fancy with this, you can use like red skin potatoes. You can use whatever kind you want. I like these because they're pretty consistent in size. So I'm going to throw that out now that I'm done with it. I am choosing to peel them. You don't have to peel them. You can leave some of the peel on so you get that like kind of crust quality to it. If you are going to leave the peel on, either way you should wash them, but if you are going to leave the peel on, you should really, really scrub them. As is, I just kind of hit them with a little rinsey rinse and then wash them a little bit because I'm going to take the peels off anyway. So, if you're going to peel them, vegetable peeler, all you're going to do is just do long strips. And it is okay if yours are not super even. Mine are not necessarily the prettiest either. Making my Irish ancestors very disappointed with my potato peeling abilities. Yeah, right now I'm just trying to get as much of the peel off as possible, and then I'm going to go back for those little eyes. But yeah, if you have those pieces like that where there's what's called an eye, where the peel kind of juts in a little bit, you can just go back over them until you get underneath it. You don't have to get it all the way off either. But yeah, I'm just doing shallow little strips like that. And yeah, again, not necessarily trying to be too perfect about it. Roasted potatoes are pretty big too, so it's okay if you lose a little potato to keep them on the neater side. Yeah, so if you want, you can peel then chop right away. I'm just going to peel them all because I don't like switching tasks in the middle, mostly just because muscle memory, it's easier to do one thing and then do the next step. When I was doing this earlier though, because I did have so many potatoes and I just didn't have room for peeled potatoes all over the cutting board, I did like, 2 or 3 at a time. Peel them all, chop them all, put them all in the bag. Yeah, so again, just peeling them. Wouldn't this have been so much fun to watch for all the other potatoes? Super exciting. I don't know about y'all, but that is my favorite genre of YouTube video. It's just watching people peel potatoes. Maybe there's like an ASMR thing to it. The sound of the potato peeler. I don't know. But yeah, like on the end of this one, there's a pretty deep bit, so I'm going to do kind of bigger chunks off. Perfect. One more. Yeah, when you're cooking, honestly anything where you're going to have trash, like if you're chopping strawberries and you're going to have like the tops of the strawberries, or if you're killing potatoes, anything, it's always good to keep your trash can relatively close. Just so you don't have to, have a pile of food scraps on your counter. If you compost, you can keep a compost bowl on the counter when you're cooking too. But if you compost, you probably already know that. People who compost tend to be on top of composting. I would like to compost. I don't fully understand it. Anyway, potato. Alright, so what we're going to do now is you're going to take a knife. You don't have to take a big one. You can take a knife of any size. And we are going to cut them down the middle going that way. And again, keeping our fingers out of the way. Please ignore how bad my nail polish looks right now. But I'm going to cut right down the middle, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. So, fingers all the way out of the way. Straight down. Alright, and then with those two halves, you're going to flip them over so they're not sliding too bad. And do 1, 2, 3. So you have 4 slices. 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, 1, 2, 3. And you want to get them like kind of the same, what's the word I'm looking for? Size. You want to get them kind of the same size, just so they bake evenly in the oven. And I'm going to put these in a bag, and I'll explain why when we get there. Please stay with the tour until then. So again, straight down the middle. You don't have to use a big knife. It helps to have a little oomph to it. 1, 2, 3. And again, with potatoes that are different sizes, you might do more cuts, you might do less cuts. I've had potatoes that are like massive. I had a couple earlier that were massive, but I end up like cutting them in half again going that way. 1, 2, 3. The first time I made these, I was so meticulous about it. Like basically one step away from like pulling out a ruler to make sure they were super even. But now I'm a little more lax. So, alright, so we're going to pop these in our bag. You can do this in a bowl too, if you want. I saw somebody who recommended doing it in a bag just to keep it neater. We'll see how it goes. But what we're going to do now is you're going to take a little bit of oil. I'm going to use canola oil, which is what I usually use for cooking oil. Honestly, you can even use like cooking spray and just like, and it works fine. It's basically the same thing, but I'm going to use canola oil today. So I'm going to pour probably about like a 1/4 of a cup, a little under. And I want like just enough to coat them. And then so you can add whatever you want to it next. You can add salt, you can add salt and pepper, you can add like Parmesan and rosemary and stuff. I'm just going to be super simple with it. I'm going to use Cajun spice seasoning. I'm going to make me some Cajun fries. Straight out of, what's the place? Five Guys. So I'm going to add Cajun spice. I'm going to add a whole bunch of it. And we're going to do this a couple times because I'm going to make sure that it's exactly how much I want of everything. I'm going to seal it real well, and then I'm just going to shake it. And this is a lot of potatoes, so that's going to be kind of hard to do. Yeah, the bag, cleaner for sure. Definitely not easier, for the record. So I can even see like through that that's not going to be an occasion. So the other benefit of the bag is that you can see like all the way straight through as opposed to having a pile and having to kind of poke around. So I'm going to add a little more oil. It might be good to have a friend help you if you're pouring oil and having a bag at the same time, just so the bag doesn't fall. Oil, more seasoning. I like mine nice and spicy too. I'm not great with spicy stuff, but man, do I love some spicy fries. Again, this is 5 pounds of potatoes too, which is a lot of potatoes. You can do less if you want. The directions are pretty much going to be the same. You're just going to eyeball it on the difference with the amount of oil and spices that you want to use. You know what, because I have so many, I am going to switch to using a bowl. That's just not good enough. Which, while you're doing this, you can start preheating your oven whenever you want. I'm going to preheat it to 400 degrees. So 400 degrees. Potatoes take a lot of heat to cook all the way through. Yeah, if you're doing it in a bowl, you can use a spoon to turn them. I just kind of like to give them a little shake. Because it gets everything really in there. Yeah, bowl's a better choice if you have more, I think. More seasoning. A lot of cooking is just figuring out what you like. And for me, I know I like a lot of seasoning. Yeah, so a little toss. I think the amount of oil is definitely right. No, I could be swimming in Cajun spice and be like, more Cajun! So... potatoes nice and coated. Again, you can do just straight up salt and pepper if you want. You can do like Asiago, get fancy. I like Cajun seasoning. So I'm just gonna dump these out onto my pan, and then I'm gonna get a little neater about it because I might need 2 pans actually. Again, this is a lot of potatoes. This is 5 pounds of potatoes. So as you're laying them down, again, always important to wash your hands. As you're laying them down, you just want to make sure they don't touch. They don't need a whole lot of space to breathe or anything like that. You just want to make sure they don't touch. And I am definitely going to need 2 pans, but we'll get one in the oven for now. And then we'll stick the other one in later. I have so many Cajun fries. Everybody in this house better like Cajun fries. Do you like Cajun fries, Sally? I'm so glad. It is my birthday tomorrow. Everybody's eating Cajun fries.
Happy birthday, Marty!
Aw, thanks! Yeah. Spatial intelligence, not my forte. I'm a baker, not an artist. Again, they don't have to have a whole lot of space. They're not really going to stick to each other too bad. You do, I'm not sure if I already said it, but you do need to line your pan for sure though. Just with all the oil that's on them. Even with that, they would stick pretty bad to the pan otherwise. So I use tin foil. I would use tin foil for this. You can use parchment paper if you feel really strongly about it, but I would definitely put something down that's not just like spray, because they already have so much oil on them anyway. But it's just gonna be a nightmare to clean otherwise. Alright. Yeah, that's pretty good. Not the prettiest. If you want, you can do like neat little rows like I started to do before. I was like, eh. But yeah, we are going to stick these in the oven, again, 400 degrees for 35 minutes, which should be plenty of time for them. If it's not, if yours aren't done, which you'll know, pardon me, you'll know they're done if you can cut them like fries, like if they're soft when you go through them with a fork. If you need a couple more minutes, I would do 5. I wouldn't go over 40 minutes, because at that point they're going to start burning pretty bad, but yeah, start with 35 at 400. If you need 5 more, go up to 40, but don't go over. And we'll see in a little bit. All right, our timer just went off on the second pan. We're gonna pull them out. And, whoo, big wave of steam. Yeah, they're sizzling something fierce. And again, you can see why you want to always line the pan when you're making fries. But yeah. Those are pretty good. They're nice and tender. We're going to let those cool. But these have been out for 35 minutes now, so give them a try. We'll take this one, split them open. Yeah, so nice and tender, cooked all the way through. A little bit of skin on the outside. Awesome. That is how you make potato wedges.